Hey everyone, welcome back to the FHMB channel with me, Gav, the Fat Hairy Mountain Biker. And in this episode, we're going to be doing a brake bleed. Let's crack on. Right everyone, I managed to get hold of a nice little bike that I'm going to do a review on. So I'll just give you a walk round before we crack on with the brake bleed. So this is a Carrera 2020 Hellcat 29er. Quite nice little bike. 29-inch wheels. Suntour XCM 30 forks. Clark's brakes. Shimano Altus. What we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 gears. Shimano shifters. Yeah, pretty decent. Size medium, 18-inch. All I've done to it is added some grips, some pedals and a dropper post. I weighed it this morning, it weighed in at 15.4 kilograms. So yeah, decent bike. Just needs a brake bleed and then I'll do a review on it later on after I've rid it for a bit and know what it's like. Right, let's crack on with the brake bleed. Bleedy brakes. Right, let me show you some of the tools we're going to need. Right, so you need a brake bleed kit. You need the specific oil. This is mineral oil, it's Clark's brakes. And you're going to need Allen and Torx bits for taking the brakes apart. Something to push your pistons back and hold your pistons apart. Right, let's crack on. Right, so first up, let's pull this back wheel out. Quick release, 9mm old school quick release. Then next up, pull the brake pads out. 2.5mm Allen. Undo the retaining screw. Push the pads through the bottom. There we go, put them somewhere safe, you don't want to get them contaminated. We'll give them a clean up before we put them back in anyway. Don't lose your pin. Then you want something to push your pistons all the way back in. I've got one of these little SRAM tools. Does the job just nice. Then put something in there, wedge it in to stop the pistons from coming back. I just use this little rubber block thing I've got. But make sure it's clean, you don't want to get any contaminants in there. Right, next up we need to fill the syringes. Right, so next up, get one of your syringes, get the correct fluid for your brakes. Do not cross-contaminate the fluids. There's dot fluid or mineral fluid. Make sure you get the right one. So squeeze your syringe all the way closed. Then you want to fill it about 3/4 full. Right, so that should do the job. Right, we'll just put that to one side for a second. So next up, we need to make sure that there's an upward direction all the way from the caliper all the way up to the reservoir. So we might have to tilt the bike a bit. and we're going to have to level out the brake lever so that the reservoir cap is at the very top. There we go. Right, next up, remove the cap from the reservoir and install your empty syringe. T20 Torx bit. Oh no, sorry, it's smaller. T10. Then install the syringe. Lovely. Give the syringe a little pull to relieve any pressure and make a vacuum so that when we take the cap off the caliper we shouldn't get any leakage. Hopefully. Right, so then remove this one off the caliper. This one is a T20. And install your full syringe. First off, get yourself some blue roll. And push the fluid right to the very end. Get rid of all the air if you can. Right, so now it's just a matter of pushing the fluid from the bottom all the way to the top. Hopefully you'll be able to see the new colour coming through. Remember to keep your syringes upright so all the air travels to the top and don't go back in the system. So I'm pushing on the caliper and slightly pulling on the reservoir. And there's a lot of air and muck and gruft coming out of here. Which will explain why the brake was so spongy. Make sure you don't go all the way to the bottom on the caliper because you don't want to introduce any more air. Clean stuff's coming through now. I think we'll leave it there. Good stuff. One more important thing before you take the top syringe out. Just give your brake a little pump. Make sure it's stiff. And if it needs any more fluid pumping in, don't put any air bubbles back in, but you can put a little bit of fluid back in the top. Jobs are good at. Right, so remove the bottom syringe and reinstall the caliper cap. Have some blue roll ready, just in case you get any drips. Then do the same at the top. And reinstall the cap. Next up, let's give the pads a bit of a clean up before we stick them back in. So for this I have a chunk of wood with some emery cloth on. Give them a bit of a rub on there till you get it all nice and clean like that. You can see the difference. Nice and clean. Right, let's reinstall the pads. Put them back in the spring clip. Remove the piston block. Give it a bit of a squirt. Brake cleaner. And your pads. Slot them back in. Then replace your pin. Nip it up. I'm just going to give the disc a bit of a rub with this emery cloth. That'll do. Then give the disc a bit of a clean with this gear. Pump it up. There we go. Right, that's it for this one. That is how you bleed the brakes on a Carrera Hellcat Clark's hydraulic brakes. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give us a like, maybe even subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.